afternoon, YouTube. So I ended up getting to come home for one night. Ended up with another one of those loads that went right by my house, and there was enough time to stop and spend the night at home, so I did it again. That's really unusual for it to happen the third time in a row, pretty close together. So in the last video I was talking about there's a product called Philips Hue, and it's pretty expensive. It's $200 for three of the Philips Hue light bulbs along with the controller. So I was looking for alternatives, and so I found this, and they actually sell this at Home Depot. I bought this at Home Depot a little bit earlier, and this is it's not Philips, it's connected by TCP, and so I'm going to be trying it out here. It's 2 light bulbs instead of 3, although they have a 3 light bulb kit. And then also, if we can get that to focus right there, I don't know if that's going to focus or not. It's not wanting to. There we go, control from anywhere, and so they got a picture of the world there. So it can be controlled via the internet, and so I'm going to be checking it out here. We're not focusing very well for some reason. Sorry about that. Okay, so I've opened the package up, and so you can see there's the 2 LED light bulbs, and then you have this. I'm assuming this plugs into the router. Then you got a network cable, and that must be the AC adapter, and then a quick start setup guide. And then plus there's an app that you download, and I've already downloaded that to my phone. Can't show it to you because we're on the phone right now. That's what I'm using to record with. It's TCP. If you look for TCP lighting, now this is Android that I have, but they also have an iOS version. So TCP lighting, and you should be able to, at least on Android, I was able to easily find the app in the Google Play Store. Okay, the first step is to replace the light bulbs, and so I've already done that. I've got the new LED light bulb installed in my housing out here. So I'm going to reach around and turn it on, and you can see that it's actually working. So there, it's actually working. You can see that it's working. So the next step is going to be to install the part that attaches to the router. Okay, so that actually was pretty easy. I put the light bulbs in there. You have to leave the power switch on. Now they will function like normal light bulbs. You can turn the switch on and off, and they turn on and off like normal light bulbs. But once you you have to leave them on. You have them on, and then you attach that bridge to your router, and then you make sure you're on. You have to be on the same network to start with. Like with my phone, I made sure it was on my home network. And then the app, you launch the app. It quickly found the 2 light bulbs that I have. And I can add more light bulbs if I want to at some future date, which I might want to because it's kind of fun. But in any case, it found the 2 light bulbs really quickly, and I was able to name them. And it makes picks the one, and it makes it flash. It dims and gets brighter and dims and gets brighter, so you know which one it is, and then you can name it. And now I have them set up so that they're in the same quote-unquote room. I've got one on one side of the house and one on the other, and that's really what I wanted to begin with. That was the whole point, was remote control of the deck lights. And so I set them up. I have them right now set up as one room, so when I turn it on, it turns both of them on at the same time, which is fine. Don't have a problem with that. I could go back and correct that later, but it's just fine. Just turn both of them on, and that way I don't have to hunt and peck and find out which one's which. So anyway, or fumble around with it. So in any case, you set that up, and then it finds the lights on your home network. And then if you want remote access, it's just unbelievably super simple. You enter a email address, and then your name, first name, last name, and a password. Re-enter the password. Click continue. It creates an account on their server, wherever that's at, probably who knows where. But it creates an account on their server. No fuss, no muss. And the next step, then you have remote access. And so I switched networks so that I'm no longer on my home network. And I can turn the light on and off, and the response time is, I'd say, with about a half a second or so. There's a response time once it's on the internet. Now, if it's on my home network, it's much faster, obviously. But a half a second is fine to be able to turn the light on and off. You can also use the app to dim them with. So this is a nice alternative. Let me see now I bought it at my local store, so I had to pay tax. And so it was $79.97 at my local Home Depot store. And of course, with tax, we have high taxes around here. Sales tax was $7.80. So the total was $87.77. Now I could have gotten a thing on Amazon, and I can also buy additional light bulbs. You just want to make sure you get the quote-unquote connected ones. The same company, obviously. You'd want the same kind of light bulbs. I can add more light bulbs if I want to in the future. Don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. It would be nice to be able to have kind of remote control, I think, access. But certainly, initially, I just wanted, the whole point of this was so I could have control of the front and the back. And the Philips Hue could have done it, but I didn't need all of the color changing thing, and that really jacks the price up. But the Philips Hue system is $200 for their kit, and then each additional light bulb's like $60. I'm going to have to do some research and find out how much these light bulbs are. I think they're considerably cheaper. And you still got remote access to them, which is pretty amazing. Don't care about the color aspect of it, but to be able to turn lights on easily, on and off remotely via the internet, pretty cool stuff. Of course, for some time now, I've had the Nest thermostat, got remote control of that. I've got IP cameras set up in here. I've got, I can look at the house pretty much at any time as long as my internet connection is functioning here at home, which most of the time it is. It's it's DSL, so it's not super fast, but it's pretty reliable. So this is quite a nice product. It's at Home Depot. Again, the name of it's TCP. What was it? TCP lighting is what you can search for, and you'll find it. And it's easy to set up. It's a lot less expensive than the Philips Hue system. Doesn't give you color access, but who cares about that? Especially with an outside light. Now, if it was indoors, it might be a different story. You could play with the lighting colors or what have you. Not really interested in that. I'm sure it's fun to do that, but on the other hand, I wanted remote control, and that's basically what I've got now for my outdoor lighting, and that'll be pretty handy. That'll be super handy to have. So it's now many hours later. It's about when I stopped here, it was about 12:30 a.m. So I stopped at Grand Island, Nebraska, and I still got a little over 120 miles to drive to make it to North Platte. So I could have possibly continued to drive and be able to make it to North Platte, but kind of tired. And the load doesn't unload until, excuse me, it doesn't unload until I have to be there at 2 p.m. So I've got time to take a break and maybe like a little hour and a half besides that. So I'll leave here in time so that I'm able to make it to North Platte by 2 p.m. and unload, and then they'll come up with some other load. So anyway, it weather-wise, it was pretty warm most of the day. It was kind of warm and humid, upper 80s, until I got to somewhere, I don't know, maybe Lincoln, and then certainly west rather of Lincoln. Temperature here at Grand Island's like 49 degrees. There's a little bit of rain still coming down. I came through some heavy rain earlier. But the thing that's really miserable here is the wind is, I don't know, the wind is really blowing. And it just, at 49 degrees with that much wind, it makes sort of a wind chill. You know, it's definitely coat weather at this point. So anyway, going back to the prior part of the video that I recorded earlier before I left home, those lights, pretty impressed with those lights that I was able to get at Home Depot. And I'm running into a little bit of a thing where I don't think people understand why I would want, they say, well, why would you want to be able to have remote control of your porch lights or your deck lights? And I thought about it, and I kind of realized that the people that don't understand that all live in cities. They all live in towns, and of course, you live in a municipality. Typically, you've got street lights, and so there's all kinds of lights around. And so even in the middle of the night, you get out of your car and everything's lit up, and you can see it just fine. Well, I live out in the country, and so there is a light that's out, kind of away from the house on a utility pole. On the, it's a rural electric company utility pole, and I pay like $3 a month for that light, and that provides some light, but it doesn't. That's a ways from the house, and so it really doesn't do much as far as light the yard up. So when I get home, let's say I've been gone and I come home, and I haven't left the light on, it's pretty dark. So you really, it's actually quite dark, and so that's the difference, I think. Again, people that live in towns are sort of used to having lots of light around, if nothing else, just the street lights that the town provides. So in this case, I have to provide my own light, and it's pretty dark out there. It can be very dark. So that's why. That's why I want it. And so these lights that I was able to get at Home Depot earlier today actually work pretty well, and I was able to set them up very quickly, and and I've got complete remote control of them via the internet, regardless of where I'm at, which is pretty neat to be able to quickly set that up. So, good product. It's called TCP. Just look up TCP lighting, or go into your local Home Depot store, and chances are if you look around, you'll find the product. So, anyhow, from Grand Island, Nebraska, I'll catch you later.